Hi guys, Samantha from Tutorials here, and welcome back to another Inspired by That Photo episode. So you should be able to see the photo on screen right now, and that was actually voted in by my Facebook group. There's a link to the group in the description below, but this is the one that was voted in. So this is the one that we are going to be using as inspiration for today's tutorial. So I've started out by grabbing two pieces of translucent Polymer clay, and these are rolled out on the thinnest setting. Now one of them I'm going to paint and the other one I'm going to apply copper metal leaf to. So let's do this one first. I'm actually going to zoom you out a bit. Bear with me for a moment. There we go. And so I've got some white here, and I'd actually like to mix it on the clay. So I've got white, I've got a little bit of true red. Just gonna pop just a bit down, and then I've got a bit of yellow, and I'm just gonna pop a touch of that down. I don't want a lot of that. Okay, and then we're gonna brush that over the surface, and we're gonna kind of mix it together that way. So we have a little bit of variation between the colour, but we want this kind of very light pink colour. I'm trying to think of the closest name to this as I can. It's kind of supposed to match with the photo. And now I don't want it to be a perfect colour. I like little streaks throughout it. If you wanted a solid colour, you're quite welcome to do that. But yeah, I wanted to kind of have a little bit of variation. So I'm just brushing across the surface now and trying to get a nice even surface so that it dries quickly, so no raised areas, and that should do. Then I'm going to pop that off to the side and allow it to dry. Okay, and while that is drying, I'm going to bring over the other piece of translucent, lay that down, and I'm just stretching it a little bit. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to bring over some copper metal leaf. So just bear with me for one moment while I grab that, and we'll probably need two pieces. And that's what we've got. Kind of grab that out and lay it down. There we go. And repeat with the other one. Just grab it out of the foil and lay it down. Close enough. Okay, and then I do have a bits and pieces one where I like to keep any excess leaf, and then I'll use that to patch up this end. Okay, and here is this piece now that it has dried. I did take a hairdryer and kind of speed it up a little bit. But yep, we're just going to place that down on top of that piece. Okay, and then I'm going to take that through my thinnest setting again, just to stretch it out and thin it out. And there we go. So you can see the paint crackled a little bit in the thicker spots. This end I am going to trim off so that we can keep it relatively neat. I'm just going to get rid of these really scrappy edges. And keep these because I am doing leftover tutorials, and so all of these leftovers that I end up with at the end of projects, I do end up getting to them at some point or another in a leftover tutorial, so be sure to keep them if you're following along. Okay, there we go. Then I am just going to take this and I'm going to stack it a few times. Just grab that. Line it up and just continue the whole way up the stack. we go. Then I will cut that in half and stack one last time. There we go. Now we've got a nice stack. Then I'm just gently going to press that together. I'm not going to reduce it, I'm just going to press it together so it's all stuck and ready for us to take pieces out of. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to press it, so I'm going to keep the paint side facing up so that the clay is touching the tile, and I'm just going to press down to get it stuck. Then grab a nice sharp blade and just cut off pieces like this. You're going to end up with a really beautiful result. And I've just got a piece of paper off to the side here, ready to pop these pieces on, because I don't want to pop them anywhere where they might end up sticking. And just continue to take slices out of the piece until you've basically used it all up. Okay, now I've got those pieces off to the side. And I'm going to bring over this piece of clay that's been rolled out on the thinnest setting of my pasta machine. And now this is a custom colour. It is 1 part apricot. Yes, it's apricot. This is a Prima colour. And 1 part blush. Let me just make double sure. Yes. So it's 1 part blush, 1 part apricot. So equal parts of each colour. Mix that together and you end up with this colour. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our pieces and we're going to pop that down onto the clay, like so. And I just want a little bit at first, I don't want too much. So I'm just trying to fill out this section over here. So just bear with me for a moment while I do that. There we go. Okay. And that should do it. It's an okay, and it is okay if some of this colour peeks through. Then you're going to want to take a piece of paper. I'll use some of that metal leaf paper that we had from earlier. And just pop that down. And just give it a burnish until it is relatively flat. Like so. Then I'm going to bring over this silk screen, which has these nice dendritic effects on them. And I'm just going to grab this bit down here. I'm going to lay it down, and this is going to kind of take on the effect of trees. Okay, just pop that down, burnish it. Then I'm going to grab a bit of black paint, and I'm going to put it to the side here. There we go, we don't need too much. And you can use anything you want, but I'm going to use my finger just to make sure that I only get this one row of dendrites, I guess is what you call them. I might be pronouncing that wrong. But I thought they kind of looked like the pine trees. So I'm just going to pop that there. Then you're going to have to go and wash this immediately. And before you do the next layer, because we're basically going to be repeating the process that I've just shown you, you want to let that silk screen dry. Because if you don't let it dry, the next time you use it, the pattern will bleed quite a bit. There we go. Lift up, and there you go. Go clean your silk screen. Okay, and then you're basically just going to repeat the process. You're going to grab some more of this, and I'm actually going to try to get the rounder of the edge, the rounder edge there. But you're basically just going to take that, overlap it on the silk screen pattern, and just cover it up like so. And I'm also just going to come in the bottom here and lay out another section for us to apply our dendrites to. There we go. That should be enough. I might want more here. There. Then you're going to burnish that again, put the dendrites on again, and then just repeat the process and all until you have finished all of your little mukume Ghana pieces off to the side. Okay, so I managed to get about 3 layers in. So now I've got this on a piece of paper and I've trimmed off the edges. So I'm just going to flip that over, and I've picked it up off the tile, and I'm just going to bring over a texture sponge and just give a very light roll just to press that texture in. Just because I don't want the back to be left out. So I'm just going to give it a light texture like so. Lift that up, and that will have also given the front a nice finish. And then I'm going to grab my piece, and because we're dealing with pine trees, I'm going to go with a triangular shape. Okay. And I'm actually going to cut it out this way around because I don't want to mess up the back. Press down, and that's what we've got, and then you can very easily just press that out of your cutter like so, and I'm gently just tapping those edges down. Pop that to the side and get out another piece or two. Okay, there we go. So, which one was it? It was this one. This one was cut upside down because the sheet ended up kind of looking like this, and so the trees are upside down on this one, but that still looks very nice. So now I'm going to bake those for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature. We might end up giving the sides a sand. They look pretty much okay to me, so I'm not sure if we'll need to do that. I'm going to put some resin on and then finish them off. Okay. And here they are out of the oven. So you can see how nicely that translucence cleared up, and you can see that metal leaf much better now. And yeah, I'm just really happy with how these guys have turned out. So now we are going to resin them. I'm not too worried about sanding the sides are pretty much okay. They do have a little bit of a ridge over here, but it doesn't distort the shape, and it will help hold the resin in place. So I'm going to bring over a silicone mat. And this is just going to, if the resin happens to spill, it won't end up sticking to the tile then. And I'm going to be using this UV resin. Okay. And I am just simply going to pour the resin on top, like so. And everything I'm doing for this one, I would repeat for the other two. And then I'll smooth it out across the surface. And then I'll put it under the UV light for about 15 minutes. Okay, and I've just brought over some piercing needle tools basically, and that just helps spread the resin around. You can use silicone as well. Anything you want to just spread the resin up to the edges. And yeah, pop it in for 15 minutes just to make sure that it's properly hardened. And then we can drill and string them. Okay, and here it is out of the UV light. So it's completely hard. Now I'm just going to drill, and I've already made a little marker over here. And you always want to drill it resin side first, just because if you go through from the back, you might end up lifting the resin off of the clay. Whereas if you drill down onto the UV resin layer, you don't risk that. And it is going to be a little hard at first because the resin is definitely a lot harder than the polymer clay. But you'll get through eventually. So there, we're just about through now. Yeah, and I've already drilled the other two, so they're good to go. And to finish it off, I'm just going to grab a silver bale, pop that in, like so, and then you can string it onto the cord of your choice. I'm just going to use this rubber cord, nice and easy. And there we go, nice and easy. And here are the other two. So yeah, I think they turned out quite well. They match quite nicely with the photo that I used for inspiration, and this is why I do like to use photos for inspiration, because they give you ideas that you probably otherwise wouldn't have come up with. So definitely try it for yourself, and if you enjoyed the tutorial, please do consider supporting me on Patreon, or even buying tools and supplies from my Etsy store. That also really helps. There's also a join button below this video where you can join the membership on YouTube, and that has exclusive tutorials that are not available for free. But yeah, even commenting and liking is also incredibly helpful, and I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.